Kalen Avenue, Corbin Trail. I'm going to come back into some courtyard villas that look to be nearly completed. We've been in here before, guys. I realize that. This is off of Kalen Avenue, now Destiny Drive. I'm going to turn right onto Destiny Drive. And it looks like most of these courtyards are done. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time in here. But in case, look at some people get those raised addresses like right there. They didn't used to do that, but that's what they're going with now, at least on some of these houses. I was saying, we've been in here before and when it was a lot less done, and I wanted to get an update and see how much farther along they've gotten in here. A lot of my videos, like I was saying, are for people who are just looking, right? You have not yet moved to the villages and you are still considering it, looking around, wanting to see some courtyards in different locations, brand new homes. Maybe you see a particular model you like. From the looks of things, there's a corner house here. Kind of looking down the streets. But from the looks of things, down the street, this place might be about 90% finished. I've noticed they put in the last top layer of asphalt, which I find a little strange because usually they will wait till they're ready to leave and then they put that topping last layer, but that's not the case in this one. I'm going to try to capture some more of these homes this way. On the last time we came in here, I couldn't even get down here. There was just too much going on. They still got a lot of street to clean up over here in this corner. As you can see, the houses aren't even quite finished. No sod. I'm gonna flip and come back up this street again on this side, and then we're gonna go back into the interior area again where they're finished. I'd say probably about another couple of weeks. Maybe a lot more done now, especially in the street cleaning. Some of these have, you know, 2-car garages with a golf cart garage. Some of them come with 2 single-car garages. It's a nice corner lot. So we're back onto the interior street in here. All this center is right here is like a big island. It's just the inner part of the neighborhood. And you can see these are done. You know, they got the landscaping in, the sod. Two-car garage, golf cart. Now, what all the names of the models are in here, I'm not always sure. They change them up a lot. But that's another quick run through. Continue to go down Caitlin Avenue. Going towards the Well Point side of things. Now we rolled up on Thomas Trail and Caitlin Avenue. Right off into this neighborhood in here. I'm not going to go in there. That would be Parquet Street. I'm sorry, Parquet Run. Parquet or Parquetta or Parquet Run. Thomas Trail. You know me and them street names. There's a lot of construction going on here. No, I'm not going to go in there. Even though I don't think there's anybody in it, but there's no point in going in there. Too much, you know, nothing to see yet, but that's an upcoming neighborhood. Now I'm trying to look at the streets and determine if these are going to be designer homes or verandas. I'm not certain on that yet. Over there looking at Oak Hollow. All this whole area is really Oak Hollow. All them houses coming up over there. Right off in the distance right here. They got patio villas. Right off of Dahlia Avenue. These are all up and coming patio villa neighborhoods. Patio villas. And I'm looking at all of these foundations right in here, all to my left and all. I could see that those are patio villa houses. But how do I know that? Oh, it's simple. Like this slab right here, I can see the shape of the slab, and then right there, that small one in the front, that's a golf cart garage. All patio villas are stick frame built. You know, your traditional normal builds. They're not block and stucco or any of that. Guy working on the roof. That guy going to town over here. Awesome. So here's another neighborhood we're going to keep our eye on. Brand new, upcoming patio villas. This is going to be in the village of Oak Hollow. Now you see off the distance right there, those are precast walls on those trailers. That's for another area. All this right here in front of us are going to be patios. Patio villa neighborhood. Right off of Dahlia Avenue and Thomas Trail. So that's something to keep our eyes on, guys, as they continue to working and getting Oak Hollow built up around here. All them precast walls. They use those in the courtyards, verandas, designer homes, you know, anything like that would be concrete slab walls. Right now I'm on Nathan Street in Paquette Run. And there's some new designer homes coming up. Got a clean street right here. Take a look at these now. Obviously you're not going to have any idea as to you know, what home model it's going to be just by looking at it like this. They could, unless you got a skilled trained eye. I'm not as good when it comes to these designer homes. A whole section right here. This is going to be veranda homes. Guarantee it. They look to be veranda homes. A couple of houses right there. It's going to be big. 2-car garage, huge golf cart garage. Nice size houses on right off of Paquette Run and John Place. I don't know. Somebody got the sign knocked over. Sorry, y'all. Paquetta Run and John Drive. Brand new verandas if you're in the market for a veranda. I'm looking at a lot of, you know, slabs laid down. So it's not going to be long. And the thing is once they start installing those concrete precast walls, they could have a bunch of them up in a week. There's a whole section that they cut open and they take part of the wall out so they can have another entrance going in and out. And when they're finished, they close it back up and all that. And off in the distance, I believe that's still going to be Oak Hollow. Well Point is further up to the right. You know, there's a section of that that's considered Well Point, and then it just turns into Oak Hollow. So you got all them houses right there, and they're overlooking this golf course. Of course, I see a bunch of cranes and stuff, so they're hot and heavy over in that area. So we may try to get around in there and see what we can see. If not, you know, it may be one of those areas where you got to stay clear of. There's a pretty, kind of a wooded walking area right there, walking path. So let's try to jump over there and see if we can get a look at some stuff. Got all this construction going on. Tell me they're not in a hurry to get all these houses built. It almost feels like they're trying to keep up pace with the Eastport Town Square coming up. Off in that neighborhood right there, that's going to be cottage homes or cottage villas. All the way up down there in the distance. We're going to come back and take a look at those again, maybe about another week. They've got trailers everywhere around here getting these precast walls put up. All that in there. Little Point. A little John Luke down in there. Rows and rows of precast walls on these trailers. They're even getting them built up to the right of me. Right around here where that little walking path is. But all back in there, going all the way back, everything is hot under construction. Man, these guys just keep knocking over the city street signs and everything. But they'll straighten it back out, I believe. But all that coming up in there, hot and heavy. Big old house being built right here. All these houses lead right at going into Well Point, like you're gonna go to MCNEILL Drive. All to the left and to the right. Now we came down here on Denise Drive before. Look at it, all the way back in there. And most of these weren't even here. And it's only been a couple of weeks. I don't know, I'm trying to think. Maybe was it 2 or 3 weeks ago it came in here? And about 50% of these weren't even here. And I'll come in here today, June 15. Man, that street's flooded out. Wow, look at that. I think they're gonna have to work on that. That could be a future problem. And there are houses everywhere. If you're looking to move to the villages, man, now's the time. Little John Loop and Denise Drive. So that's that loop that goes all the way around in the back. Now we will hit that up, but we gotta wait for these houses to get a lot more finished, you know, before we can do any of that kind of thing. Still too early. So all I'm doing is I'm staying on the main road, looking down. A lot of guys working on houses. And it doesn't matter if it's Sunday, Saturday, what day do we, holidays. It doesn't matter to them. They work 7 days a week. There's another street that's almost flooded out. We've been getting a lot of rain lately. That street goes all the way down. Like I say, now we're getting more into Well Point, Village of Well Point area. Hartman Lane, Denise Drive. Hartman Lane to Denise Drive. This street looks almost finished. No real traffic in here, so we'll ride down this one where there's no hubbub. I think we came down here before. I don't know. When I looked at, there was like this big, huge ranch style house. Nice large front porch to sit at. Yeah, I think we came in here before. Some of these streets are a little muddied up. I see what it is now. A lot more houses going this way. Now I'm beginning to understand why the streets are getting flooded. to some degree. They're blocking the storm drains to keep all that trash from going in there. And they're trying to use like a piping so the water can go down in there without letting in all the trash in, but it's clogs up the street. That's what it looks like the idea was. But here in Florida, you turn off the rain for a little while, long enough, and it'll all be dried out. Temperatures have been getting up in the 90s, high 80s at least. It's another thing to think about too. If you're considering moving to the Villages or anywhere in Florida, you need to be mindful that it get hot. All these designer homes to the right. A lot more houses. These are going to be designer homes in here. Patty Path and Denise Drive. This is just the other little part of that road that we didn't come down on. Flip around. I don't want to go over that. Back the other way. Just a lot of muck. No reason to go there. I'm trying to check out houses that are basically finished. Now, I don't believe none of these have been released yet. Now, these are designer homes, guys. Because you see vinyl siding does not mean it's not a design home. It is. Right here, brand new patio villas. They put these up in a hurry. Getting to be a lot closer to being done. Logston Lane and Denise Drive. We're having a nice large patio villa neighborhood come up. Most of this is, well, a lot of it's done. House all the way in the back. Somebody gets a round driveway. Anybody who's looking for a villa in the village of Well Point, a newer built one, well, this is going to be for you too. It's going to be pretty big. They go all the way down This whole interior section, there's like 2 of them. All havens. All that going on down there. Busy, busy, busy. I'm gonna come in here just to grab a sneak peek. We're gonna come back when it gets a lot more finished, you know, more completed. That way we can really get a good look at it, everything, when it's getting closer to be release time and these guys get a good chance to finish up, you know, putting the landscaping down and all. All havens right there, except for this one. I think that's a nest or a retreat. I get them confused. That's a nice one right there. All cute little houses. You know, everybody says, man, they look like army barracks or mobile homes, and no, they don't. And when they're finished and people put in their landscaping and customize them to their liking, you know, the neighborhoods change and they look a lot prettier. They kind of give them more of a cottage feel. Whole bunch of sod. Man, I wish I could talk him into loaning me a couple pieces. I need like 4. Pro Vista, please. I'm not sure how to pronounce that street. And then a little loop or something. Got all those homes going on. We're gonna come down this more completed neighborhood. We're gonna begin to head out. Look at that grass, guys. Really pretty. I don't know if that's Pro Vista or Florican, to be honest with you. Sometimes I can't tell. And I've been looking at Pro Vista for a long time, and it's usually, you know, a darker grass. It grows a little slower. Oh, here's a brand new street, Norrie Place. And once you put it on the ground, man, I still have a hard time figuring out. But that whole back section we were looking at back in there, all that grass came in really pretty. I put sod down and half of it's dead in 3 days. It's the weirdest thing. Some of these are struggling. We got a lot of nice new designer homes in here. That's that ranch style house that got flipped to the other side. I used to know a lot of the models at one time, but I think because they've changed them up, I just get really confused. Back on that Panalillo loop or Panalillo loop or something. Came up Norrie Place. More designer homes. We're gonna come take a right. Elanita Lane. Elatania Lane. Elitania Lane. I give up, boy. I just don't understand the name. So we're gonna come and look at these houses on this street. believe this is still considered Well Point. Looks to me, I still keep seeing different model homes. There's all those right here. Now look at those divider walls. Some get it and some don't, I think. I don't know, we'll see how it looks later. I'm not so sure how I feel about that. Supposed to be some privacy between the lanais. Then there's this house to my right. Kind of a different design, I think. Alvarez Way. Typically I'm staying on the side where the sun is shining on it. Got some guys doing some interior work. Look how close. Now on these designer homes, they got a huge lanai right back here. And they got a decent sized one too. But you're like right next behind each other. It's not as close as some houses I've seen, but you're in plain view of each other, that's for sure. Unless you put up like privacy, you know, some landscaping where it looks really pretty with robolinis or something, some kind of pretty plant work, and it'll give you like a wall with plants, and so it's a little less intrusive, like right in here. But trust me when I tell you, your neighbors are going to be able to hear everything you say. So don't think you're going to sit out in your lanai and start talking smack about your neighbors or somebody, and there they are sitting out there in the lanai. They can hear you, and you can hear them. You got to talk super soft. See, here's the difference between that and this one right here. We back up. The distances is a good example of that house separated by plants right there. They put shrubs in that house, so there's a nice divider. And when those get, personally, I'm glad that they do that. But personally, to me, from what I've seen people do when they replace it with tropical plants and it looks more Floridian, it's just a beautiful thing. But I am glad to see that they do have shrubbery, and once it grows and matures, it's gonna be nice. It'll look nice. It'll get the separation. But as you can tell, I'm a little more partial to tropical plants, I guess, just because, you know, we're in Florida. The villages, man. And then those Isabella Garden Villas. Now earlier I did ride by a brand new villa section and didn't stop at it. I have before in the past, and I was wondering, oh, those are going to be courtyards? I have no idea. Now they could be doing some more of these garden villas to see. Maybe they need to wait and see how these ones sell. Before they do them again. Because the ones that they've built here recently, they haven't all sold yet. And off looking in the distance, guys, that would be Well Point. That's looking into the village of Wellpoint. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to cut it off right here. This video's been long enough. That's going to be another sneak peek into portions of the village of Wellpoint and areas within the village of Oak Hollow, which is quickly coming up. They're working their way around, getting closer to the square. If you haven't already, guys, please subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. And if there's a bunch of wind, I apologize for that. If you do me a favor, click that like button. And by the way, I'm passing the Street of Dreams. The Street of Dreams are model homes there in the village of Wellpoint. Catch you later, guys.
Surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 get something from nothing. I sit here looking for an answer. Maybe the biggest question was in the last chapter. You gave me the soul I have today. Without you I never could have moved away. But now I see what you teach. I do believe I always should have stayed. Yeah. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. One day I'll be yours. One day I'll be yours. One day I'll be yours. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 get something from nothing. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 get something from nothing. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 get something from nothing. Life changes just open the door. One thing's certain, I'll always be yours.